Hello, my friends. Welcome to episode 68. I think I'm going to get that right this episode. Episode 68 of the Brent Pella Show with a good new friend of mine, Maddy Smith, homegirl out of New York, stand-up comedian out of New York, star on the show Wild 'N Out, which, as some of you might have heard, I just got cast on. Super fun, very exciting, had an awesome time. Maddy is hilarious. She's been on the show for 3 seasons now, and we dove into her background. It was a big comedy-heavy episode, so I hope you guys are into that. And if you're not, then you're just going to have to sit through some fun, happy, positive vibe comedy conversation. We talked about her background in stand-up, improv, how she got on the show, her experience on it, and industry stuff and how comedy is changing in the world today and how entertainment is changing in the world today. Really cool. Cool chick, good friend, fun new friend. This episode is brought to you by Blue Blocks. Blue light blocking glasses. They're having a huge sale through June. Use promo code SAVE20 or SAVE25. If your purchase is $160 or more, you'll get 25% off. Use promo code SAVE30 for 30% off. I think that's good for a little bit higher, $250 or more. Or use promo code Brent for 15% off any purchase at blueblocks.com. My favorite blue light blocking glasses, BLUBLOX.com. And Bioptimizers. The best supplement company I've ever worked with or tried. Magnesium Breakthrough is their main product right now, and I've been using it for a couple years. Helps with muscle recovery, helps with anti-inflammatory stuff, helps relax, helps me chill out. And I've been taking it for a while. I highly recommend it. Get a discount at magnesiumbreakthrough.com/Brent Pella. They'll also send you a free book called the Biological Optimization Blueprint with a bunch of cool information and facts and research-based data to help you optimize your health and not be a big old piece of poop, because no one wants to do that. So, that being said, guys, please enjoy this episode with my good new friend, Maddy Smith. How long are you in LA for?
July 6th.
Okay, cool. And you have a bunch of shows?
Yeah, mix. Yeah. Unfortunately, I have to leave this weekend because my grandma died.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Terrible timing on her part. I was like, you realize I'm in LA, right? So I miss a whole weekend but that's okay. Because it's mostly for, the hanging and stuff like that. Yeah. And then July 4th weekend is kind of a wash because...
Yeah, that's definitely a wash.
Yeah.
But if you can get in some good shows, that's fun.
Yeah.
What was the first thing you did when you got back from the shoot? What was the first thing you did?
The first thing I did was... I think I sat in my Airbnb just in silence. And I was like, okay, we're done. That is so weird. I was like, I wasn't hungover because I smoked enough weed to numb the alcohol. Yeah. But I kind of just sat there and was like, all right, what do I have to do now? Yeah. You pick up the pieces from everything you abandoned for the last 2 weeks.
You really feel like you abandoned everything. Everything. Yeah. Those 2 weeks, I literally... didn't respond to texts, emails.
Yeah, totally.
And I thought I would. I thought I would have some time to let me handle this thing. Let me schedule this. Nothing. Yeah, I revisited my podcast. I was like, okay, here we go. Back to the regular programming. And I texted a bunch of people back. There were some people who I texted who lived in LA who I accidentally ghosted. Yeah. I was like, can I hang out? And then they were like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then I never responded. So I had to do some administrative apologies. Administrative work on your life.
Administrative stuff. Yeah. So I did that and then just kind of fell asleep for a while.
I got back and I started editing a video that I hadn't done yet, and as soon as I opened it, I just felt this fatigue come over. I was like, fuck, man. Yeah. Now I gotta rewire my whole brain to do this.
I know.
Because for those 2 weeks we were out there, it was like waking up. And tell me if this is how you usually experience that show. I was waking up every day trying to think of ways to insult people. Yeah, totally. Every day. Yeah, every day. How can I make fun of this guy? Yeah. What can I say that's mean about this person? Yeah. And I'm not used to that because I don't really making fun of people.
Totally. I know, right? You're just eyeing people up. Yeah. It's such a stressful thing because you have to sleep and knowing you have to wake up the next day and write 10 different jokes. Yeah. For all these fucking games. Yeah. And that's just it. I didn't look out my window of my shuttle at all because I was like on the phone the whole time.
Same.
If anyone asked me what San Bernardino looked like, I would be like, I don't know. All I know is the lobby of the Element and the stage.
Yeah.
I like barely, when I was getting my hair done, all I was doing was on my phone.
Yep.
That's the worst part of the season is like if you are pretty new or if you're like more stand-up focused and less of an influencer, you really have to like crush.
Yeah.
Or like no, like I gotta come with jokes today. I'm not high enough in the show where I'm just like a character.
Yeah.
And I can like float it off.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people have a status where they can get by based on who they are, which is fine. That's part of the show.
That.
That's how the show was created.
That.
Yeah.
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 But for me,
not
it's like
for me either.
I gotta have my little checklist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would put together like my own like football, they called it, that
Yeah.
they would send out. I'll put my own together for whatever day I was on the show with like each game.
Mm-hmm.
Joke A, joke B,
Yeah.
if somebody else uses that joke
Yeah.
already, you know. Wild.
It's wild.
Wild.
And the 3 episode a day thing is a lot. I know like one day I was everything was piled on in the first 2 episodes, and the 3rd episode I hadn't even looked at the stuff, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is a bad look for me. You know? Even though you did well in 2 episodes, you're like, oh, I don't have anything for the green screen game. Fuck.
Yeah, dude, that was the hardest game for me.
It's hard.
I thought it was gonna be the easiest because I've done improv for so long, but then
But you had good scenes
man.
where you supported.
Yes.
And you also had the sex education one, which was good.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I did do that one.
Yeah.
Okay, that was fun. Godfrey was really fun to work with on those.
He's so fun.
That dude is
so nice.
a monster
Yeah.
of comedy.
Yeah.
He is hilarious.
He's amazing.
Do you know him pretty well from New York?
I only know who he is. I never met him.
Mm-hmm.
He's more of like a seller comedian.
Yeah.
And so when they told me he was coming, I was pretty excited. Because
Yeah.
he's very like present and
Very.
normal. And
Yeah.
like anyone who comes on the show and is like a stand-up, you're like, all right, we're going to vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And he's an old school dude. He's like totally OG. Did you know that the show was like this, or did you have any like idea that it was like this when you were first auditioning for the show?
I had no idea. I actually thought it was more like full like freestyle rapping and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was more like totally. I guess I didn't really know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that there would be like an order to things, to like the games. When you watch the show, it looks way less prepared than, which is the goal, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't know that there would also be like in the Baby Mama, you're after blah 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 blah.
Right.
So the structure of it is something I didn't know about.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Take me through that first like process when you were auditioning for it. How did you get the audition?
So I do roast battles in New York City.
Oh, you do?
For years, yeah. It's fucked up.
Wow. So you were ready, kind of.
I guess so,
for
yeah.
roast type stuff.
I did a ton of roasting. I did the Stand Roast Masters and New York Comedy Club Roast Battle, Fight Club, What
drew you to roasting stuff?
Literally just people told me to do it. You know, when you start and you're like, I'll do whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not obsessed with, I like being, I'm not, everyone's like, you like being mean? I'm like, no, I just do whatever people tell me to do.
Yeah.
And when I started stand up, this show called Fight Club was like getting pretty big.
Yeah.
Within like kind of like open micers. So it was a cool way to like get your jokes out there and meet more people. And then from Fight Club, I started doing the roast battle at New York Comedy Club. And then I started doing roast masters at the Stand.
Was the roast battle at New York Comedy Club connected to the one at the store out here? Was it the same folks?
No, Rel Battle. I don't know if you know him. Yeah.
I know who that is.
I think he started the roast battle at New York Comedy Club.
And then
I think
brought
there
it
might have been
to
some drama.
Oh, some drama. Okay.
With the roast
Some
battle.
drama. Because I know Brian ran it. Brian.
Moses.
Oh, damn it. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Brian Moses. Yeah. He ran it in LA. And I was always super intimidated. I never did it, but I loved going to it. The Comedy Central roasts are like my favorite things to watch.
So fun. Yeah.
The live roast battle in LA was my favorite show ever. Yeah. But I was always way too intimidated to do it. Yeah,
it is. My first few, there was a learning curve. I think my first roast battle at Fight Club, I crushed. And then the second, it's like doing stand-up. You crush and then you bomb. You don't know why you bombed.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I got to figure this out.
Yeah.
And then I started like doing well more and more and more. And then once it got to the big time at like the clubs and like the roast masters at the stand had a YouTube following because Luis Gomez hosted.
Oh, right.
So all the videos would have like all these comments, and my only motivation was to not have mean comments.
Yeah.
Because people would be like, wow, she sucks. And you're like, all right, I need to be fully prepared.
Yeah.
So my first roast battle at the stand was against Karen Margolis. Boom, crushed her out of the park. No offense, Karen, you did what you did.
We love you,
But
Karen.
we love you, Karen. And then I think I did a tournament with the roast battle, blah blah. I just like in 2017, I think I did like 40 roast battles, like so many between all the clubs and stuff.
Wow.
And so by then,
Wow.
yeah. So then when someone I know posted like Wildin' Out is auditioning roast battlers and rap battlers, I was like, well, I have all these YouTubes, and I also battled Jacob Williams on one of the roast battles. I'm like, I might as well.
And he was
send.
already on Wild 'N Out at the
He had
time?
already been on Wild
Cool.
Out for like years. So I sent them that, and then I got the audition. And I think the audition, they accepted a lot of people because I got there and I thought it was going to be like my call time was 2 p.m. and I was like in and out. And of course, it was hours behind. Millions of people there. And I'm like, I got discouraged by the minute. But then people were coming out and they were telling us what the audition was like. They were like, it was so easy.
And you're just waiting for hours, right?
Talking to people,
Jeez.
just like freaks.
Where was it? What
At the
what was the venue?
Viacom office in
Like a
Times
conference
Square.
room?
No, it's just the Viacom offices in
offices?
Times Square.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I sent in my roast masters videos, and they accepted me, and then I auditioned in front of Nick and Niall, Annie and Shelby and a couple other people, and just did stand up. And then they're like, what else you got? And I was like, I have some bars for the Big Mac, because I looked at all the people on the cast and I was like, I have some bars, and I said something about him losing his feet from diabetes, blah blah blah. But people were coming out from the audition and they were telling us what it was like, so I was like, okay, I'll be ready.
Yeah.
And then that same day there was a callback.
The same day?
Same day. They were like, stay for the callback.
So that first audition where you're doing stand up, is that just you solo in the room in front of the producers? So they saw everybody one by one.
One by one.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's insane. No wonder Nick is in the back in a hoodie. He's probably sleeping half the time.
He's sleeping. Yeah, I think he's sleeping.
Wow. So how long was your stand up that you did? Was it like 2 minutes?
4 minutes of stand up. Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty funny. It was like kind of awkward.
Yeah. So then they tell you to stick around for the callback.
And they say, they're like, it was kind of like American Idol. They're like, all right, let's see what you can do in the callback. And you're like, wait, what? I think I literally was like, I'm going to Hollywood. And they're like, okay, get out of here. And then they made us wait, because it was also filmed. It was also like a production. Yeah. Because it ended up being a YouTube like documentary thing.
Oh, right. Like
so that's
Road to
also
Wild 'N Out or
why,
whatever.
Road to Wild 'N Out. So I think that's also why they did. Like a bunch of people got called back that I don't think were, it was more for the, so then in the callback, we all waited and they did a 2-team wild style, which was like so insane. I had my bars ready. Yeah. So these people were going up there trying to freestyle. I got in per wild style, cooked with some 4 bars. Yes. And then like did so well that at the end of the wild style, I was like, if I don't get this, then it's a casting thing. Yeah. Because I was like, you know when you leave audition and you sucked and you're like, well, I suck.
I'm not going to get that.
I'm not going to get that. Yeah, if I get it, that's
I do know
insane.
that feeling. That's a very familiar feeling. Yes.
But the auditions where you do well, you're like, that's their fault.
Yeah.
If
100%.
I don't get this. Totally.
100%.
Or like stand-up auditions where you crush and you're like,
or commercial auditions. Yes. Sometimes for commercial auditions, you could do, I've done so great. Yeah. I walk out of there, even the directors in there, and they're like, that was hilarious. Great job. Yeah. And it's literally like, okay, if I just don't look like the person they have in their head, literally, I'm not going to get it. Doesn't matter how good I am.
It's a very zen feeling. Yeah. You're like, I crushed.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than like doing mediocre or less. Yeah. At an audition, you waste your time. You feel weird. Yeah. But if you leave and you're like, I'm the shit. Mm-hmm. And I feel good about that. And I'm a few years into comedy and I crushed my first big audition. Mm-hmm. That's all that matters. Totally. So then I put it out of sight. I think I told a couple people in stand-up about it. And then I was like, and then I had gone to Chicago to do a weekend of shows there. And on my flight back, I bought some Wi-Fi, logged in, and they had emailed me. Nice. Come to Atlanta. Amazing.
Yeah. How long between you walking out of that second callback and getting that email?
I think it might have been a week and a half. It might have been Wednesday and then a week and a half. Cool. Maybe 1 week. I literally don't remember. Yeah. I need to start tracking these things a little better. I don't remember.
For the memoir.
I don't remember. Yeah, for the memoir.
You gotta like write it down for the memoir.
For the memoir.
Yeah.
And so they emailed me, and the email I think was from Annie and McCullough, who was the original casting producer. And they were like, we're flying you down to Atlanta for a week of workshops to see how you fit with the cast. And so then I'm like, okay, great. More auditions.
Yeah.
I didn't tell anyone I got it because it was when they say to see if you're a good fit, you're like, well, fuck.
Yeah. That's definitely, that's a third callback.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I didn't really I told a couple people. I told like the booker of the club that I work at the most, New York Comedy Club. I was like, I may or may not be back in 1 day or a month. Mm-hmm. So just to let you know, I only told a couple people, and then we had a week of workshops. The hotel room thing or the conference room thing we did, we had a week of those. Literally like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
And that's where they're cutting people still, right?
Yeah, like the first day, Niall, he's executive producer. For those who don't know, he circles us all up in a huge group, and he's like, just so you know, the circle is way too big.
Oh, my God!
Not all of you are staying.
Oh.
And you're like, oh, my God.
Jeez.
What the fucking fuck, dude?
Wow.
I'm like, I'm 27. I'm too old for this.
Yeah.
This is not soccer. This is... I just quit my job. I had quit my job for this because I was like, well, I had a finance job until January of that year, and then I did a part-time job until the audition, and then I quit that. And I was like, it was more than anything, I was like, this needs to work out just because I just quit my job for this.
Nice.
That was the
for
motivation.
Sure. Oh, you got to push the universe in that direction.
You can't
Absolutely.
go back to New York and get an office job after flubbing this up.
No.
So the workshops, I like tried very, very hard.
Did you come into the workshops well written, the same way you came into that audition?
I had a lot of bars ready.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the song games. I didn't know about like R&B and like trapping out. I didn't know about all those. I was very confused when we started playing those. The first activity we did was a song game. And I was like, is this for work? I didn't know it was on the show. I didn't know they did songs on the show. So
yeah.
So we had to do like a song about spraying roaches. And it was like, I think it was
Classic.
me, Swag, Javen, and a guy named King Los, R.I.P., no longer here on the show, I mean.
Yep. Still alive, though.
Still alive,
Hopefully,
fully alive.
I hope you're doing well.
I hope he's doing fine.
Yeah.
So we did a show about getting sprayed, and like my dance moves were so off that Niall was like, you keep doing you.
Nice.
Everyone else, your dance moves need to be on. Maddie can do whatever she wants.
Oh,
and so
that's
that
great.
kind of was like, relaxed me a little bit. And I was like, I don't need to fit in with exactly what everyone's doing. As long as I have my own funniness, they won't be worried about me. Yeah. You know, because you see him be like, your choreography is off. We know that you are in a different world. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. That's cool.
And that was the first game. So I was like, okay, as long as I kind of am funny, but I don't have to fit in with like Hitman and, you know, like
cool guys with swag and
totally.
Like
or I'm not like B Simone and V.
And being sexy. Like hot and like
totally. I can just like be my stand-up self, but in the lens of Wild 'N Out. Yeah, that's cool. So that was pretty encouraging.
That's cool. That was a big learning experience for me too, because I came in to that first workshop day like, oh, okay, I grew up around people like this. I get that. I played basketball my whole life. You know, so I get that whole like swag and persona type thing. And then I was like, I started to notice like, wait, I'm not doing like what I think is funny and being like physical and goofy and silly. I considered the whole shoot kind of my workshop. In a way. Definitely. Because I was just learning from everybody and trying to figure out what I could bring that's different. And it was awesome. It was a great experience. It was really cool. So hopefully I can keep building on that. But so now you went through the workshop, and then was the shoot in Atlanta directly after that? Yeah. So it was attached to the workshop.
So by the end of the workshop, they were just like, okay, tomorrow we're going to set and we're going to do wardrobe. And there was no like, congratulations. You're the They were just like, yeah, you're going.
Isn't that funny?
I was like,
I've heard the same thing from people who have gotten all these other, my buddy Luke Knoll got SNL. Okay, yeah. Do you know Luke?
Is he on now?
He was on for one season 2 or 3 years ago. White dude that played guitar, but never played guitar on the show. Okay. Weird. But hilarious guy, and everybody loves him. I think he's originally a Chicago dude. Okay. So he had a really similar story. Yeah. And then my buddy Morgan was on that comedy Funny Off, or so, it had like a really bad name. Joking Off?
On MTV?
No, it was on NBC. and it was like a comedy talent show.
I know what you're what Chrissy Teigen?
Yes. Yeah, he was on
I
that.
forgot what it was called.
Yeah, it had like a bad name.
Find the funny.
Find the funny. Find your funny. Something like that. And he had like a similar story. It's never what you think it is.
I literally
it's
thought
never
there was
like
going to be like balloons
and
like,
confetti.
And like my first episode, I had to be like, this is my first time being on TV. And they're like, really?
Yeah.
There was no like,
you're
going to be on TV. It was like very like, no one in New York knew I was there. It was a very isolated
Dude, that's how I felt.
experience.
100%.
Late night sets, you're like, I'm going up.
Have you done a late night set?
No.
Okay. Same. But I would assume that has a little bit more like
oomph. And this
because it's like a legacy type thing,
totally.
maybe.
And it's a solo.
It's a solo
when
thing.
you're part of a cast, there's less.
There's less congratulations.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh yeah, fuck you, get in your spot.
Get in your spot.
You know.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool in a way. I think it helps take away any nerves that I have.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's just like, you're working. This is what you're supposed to be doing now.
Yeah, totally.
So let's just do it.
Yeah, you're part of like a bigger thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you do go do a late night set, you're like, I've been on camera. Yeah. I've been on stages. I've humiliated myself in a different environment. What's 5 minutes of jokes?
Right. Is a late night spot something that you've wanted to do for a while?
I don't know. I've been thinking about it recently because like before, no, but lately I'm like, maybe it could be a good way to like grow up my image of my comedy. But then again, it's not one of my top 6 goals right now. You're like, okay, if someone said, let's do that, I'd be like, all right, let's work on it. But the whole like running the 5 minutes for months and like detaching your emotions from it, I see the value of it, but I also don't think it's within my agenda for the next 2 years.
Cool. That's a cool realization.
Yeah, I'm trying to do like more like just regular TV stuff.
Yeah.
And just have fun with stand up. Mm-hmm. And like audition for JFL and stuff, but not be a late night stand up girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I do 100%.
You know, like Wild 'N Out, you want to pivot to like more just regular TV.
Yeah.
And just like sell out rooms and just have a great time doing stand up, but not have stand up be my main.
And you want to act more.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, doing a late night spot used to be like a number one goal for me for like a couple years.
Yeah.
And it was up there because I thought that was like the way to tell the industry you exist get your following, get your credit. But then I had a couple videos go like super viral and I looked at people who had done late night sets and I was like, oh, you guys, I just like quadrupled what you got with one silly video. Yeah. And now all these people are coming out to see me and I can kind of use that as a credit, you know? So it's an interesting like change in this world. Yeah,
especially when you can also just film a set.
Yeah.
And put on YouTube and have it go places.
And grow your own channel. Yeah. And grow your own pages.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like if you have 5 minutes and no one's emailing you back, you might as well just film it.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways to produce your own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That so you film Colbert, it comes out in a year. Like they have a delay too.
Right.
There's also like cover it. They want to see exactly what you're saying. They want to see the transcript of your set. It definitely takes the emotion out of it. I don't think it used to be like that. I don't think Ellen had to go through a million people to get her first late night set on.
No, I think they just saw 5 minutes and were like, come do that in 2 weeks.
It used to be more casual.
Yeah.
And now it's a little bit more...
It's a little controlled.
Yeah.
Especially for some of those shows. I've heard stories of some of them having like writing input on your stuff and like changing your words and things like that.
To the point where you're just like a robot up there.
Yeah. That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah.
But cool. How did you do during the pandemic? Did you survive? I know we talked about that for a little bit.
It was hard because 2020 I thought was going to be my year.
Yeah.
If I'm not gonna
I thought 2018 was going to be my year.
2018.
And then 19. And then 20.
And then 20. And now 2022 I think is going to be popping for me. 20.
Yeah. No, I would say your year was when you got Wild 'N Out. Right?
Yeah, well, it was weird because I got Wild 'N Out, but the episodes didn't air till like April 2020. So it was a weird
sure. That's
telling people I'm on TV, only had the pictures to prove it, not knowing how I'm going to look. And then I filmed, I think I told you this, I filmed another season and nothing had aired yet. Oh. So I was filming my second season of Wild 'N Out and I still didn't know what I looked like on TV.
Yeah.
I didn't have like fans from the show.
Yeah.
And then this third season, I had no audience. So I have yet to have a season where people in the audience know me. Not that it made any difference. They still laughed no matter what. But you see like the confidence of like B. Simone when she goes up. People are like, "Woo, yay, there she is."
Boyfriend.
So, boyfriend. Yeah. So it was a weird existential year of like I was getting all these followers, but I was inside my apartment, living in filth. No stuff. Because I thought like this was my plan for 2020. I thought my episodes were going to air and I was going to bring a camera guy to all my shows, Andrew Scholes it, like caption the clips, bing, bang, boom, grow from there. Yep. But then the episodes started airing and I'm just like at home and I've never been like a content creator. In sweatpants eating banana bread, making sourdough and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, crying into it.
Yeah, it sucked for a while. I made the most of it. I did a ton of Zoom shows. I made stupid content and only now am I like, oh, I see how to make good stuff. Mm-hmm. But it was definitely hard. Have you
ever had an interest in making digital content like sketch or like short form videos or like reaction videos the way some people do or anything like that?
Pre-pandemic, I was like, I'm good at stand up and that's my thing.
Sure.
And then pandemic, I was like, okay, I see the value of the internet.
Yeah.
And then it took a year of like back and forth between those. And then I think a lot of us in New York stand-ups were like, okay, when everything reopens, that's when I'll feel great about it. And then April came and all the clubs reopened and I did 2 weeks of shows and I was like, yeah, it doesn't hit like it used to. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. I love going out. I love grinding. But when you see the value of someone like Tim Dillon murdering on the internet, you're like, okay, I can't. It took... During the whole pandemic, we were all like, yeah, but I'm a stand-up. But it was stand-up coming back for me that was like, oh, no, I need to focus.
You need to be more than a stand-up. Yeah.
And I've done all the digital stuff. I've done the TikToking, blah, blah, blah. But I need to be more like, what's the word? Thoughtful. More agenda-based with it, I think.
Sure. Calculated?
Calculated.
Yeah.
Like more scheduled and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think like that's my goal for the next year.
Cool.
Is to pop off a little bit more on socials.
Yeah, I think especially with the show. I mean, you've had a lot of clips online from the show, so that's already gotten you some like social media clout. And then this next season will get you even more because you had a bunch of great moments. Yeah. But yeah, I was always kind of the opposite of that, which is interesting. I've been making videos forever, just as long as I've been doing stand-up, if not a little bit longer. Yeah. And I never really had like best friends in the stand-up world. Like I had friends, but I never valued the networking part of it. Like some people would go to the Comedy Store every night all week and not get up just to be friends and get into that family. And that's fine. That's totally cool. Never interested me. Yeah. Respectfully. But I would always be like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go edit. Yeah. Or I'm going to go write some sketches. Yeah. And then when the pandemic hit, I doubled down on everything, went from one video every 2 weeks to 2 videos every week. And that grew everything. And then now coming back into stand-up, I don't even have interest in like doing open mics really anymore. Yeah. I'd love to do like spots and longer spots. But I just feel like with the way everything is becoming digital, if I can get on the road more for my own shows and film those and put stand-up out that way and work on it that way, that feels way better than what I was doing pre-pandemic, which was like, okay, let me do 2 spots a night. I got to get out there. I got to be in the mix, In the mix.
It's hard. It's like a balance.
Yeah.
I think it's like the balance between New York and LA, the vibes of both of those. Yeah. New York is all about the grind and like, okay, but if you're not getting up 6 times a night, what are you? And then LA is more like internet a little bit.
Totally.
So it's like a balance between the two.
Yeah, I see a lot of people in LA that do stand up kind of more in a hobby sense and not really super serious, but project themselves as being super serious stand-ups, if that makes sense. Like, here's my show list for the next 2 weeks, and it's like the same bar every night because they host a show. And then in New York, it's people who have like 50 shows in a week. Yeah. But who's your audience? I think
Totally.
sometimes
That's
you know,
the
like
other thing
if you're not
is,
growing
like,
an audience,
literally, you're on it. You're on a hamster wheel.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're just kind of running in circles.
You are
So there's definitely a balance. I think we're all trying to figure out.
definitely a
what that
balance. I do feel like in New York, you get in front of all the people you need to, and then you're like, okay, what's the next step? Because Mark Norman, Sam Rill, they've all seen us all. What's going on here?
Yeah.
But then you get to LA, and literally my first couple days in LA, some people are like, "Oh, I'm on this show, and you're like, "Oh, okay, what's going? What's going on here?"
Yeah. Yeah.
People see that you have like a big following, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. Oh, you're a person?
Literally,
Want to be my friend?
I had the exact thing happen to me, and I was like uncomfortable, but I was also like,
yeah.
should I move here? It's very interesting.
Did somebody look at your Instagram and be like, "Oh"?
She literally went like this. I was like, "I'll tell you my handle," and she says she typed it in, and then she went, "Wait, you're like," and it was very interesting.
Was this a comic?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You'll have to tell me who after.
I'll tell you
the
after.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her jaw dropped.
Funny.
Cause I don't drop tea until people ask.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
I'm not credits forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. I'm interested in how to use this show as a credit moving forward.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I guess I gotta wait for the shows to come out.
Yeah. That's kind of what I did. I kind of I got more headlining gigs after I booked it and showed that I was on it, but they were like low key gigs. And then once now it's only post quarantine. So I also still am figuring out how to use the credit.
Yeah. Did you come up through acting or anything before you started doing stand-up in New York?
Not really. I did like musical theater in high school, but
that's right, because you sang during one of the things, and everybody was like, "What the fuck?"
Listen, like I
said, that
said,
shit was good.
I'm not credits forward. I like to keep my cards close.
Yo, that was so good.
That was
and
great.
Then Nick made you guys do it again, and I even thought, okay, there's no way she does that again. Not in like a bad way. I want you to succeed.
Yeah, totally.
But we're not in competition.
Yeah.
And then you hit it again.
Boom.
It was crazy.
Consistency is key.
So you and I could see other people on stage shocked at that. Had you sang on the show before or told anybody that you could hit some notes?
Well, I did an Ariana Grande impression once, and I did like the whistle that was like, and then I think there was one other song where I sang, but I didn't sing like that.
Yeah.
Before, and maybe it was because Jessie was on this song, so I was Jessie Woo.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay,
she's got pipes.
She has pipes.
She's got pipes.
Yeah. I also, I never really sang before, but I was in like chorus and stuff in high school.
Okay.
But I wasn't ever the best. I have passable singing.
It sounded great.
Thank you.
It sounded great. Yeah.
And then in college, I didn't do any acting or anything. I was the editor of the newspaper, not to brag.
So was I.
Oh, shit.
Swear to God.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd you go to school?
I was at UC Santa Cruz for 2 years.
Yeah.
But I started doing the paper at UC Santa Barbara for my second 2 years. I was sports editor in high school.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Were you the editor-in-chief at Santa Barbara?
No, I was sports editor again.
Oh, okay. Yep. I was the editor-in-chief.
Congratulations.
I like the
That's
sports
really cool.
guys because they're very straightforward and they just go to the volleyball games and report on the stats.
We did our work and then we got drunk.
Yep.
That was it.
That's great.
Our college newspaper was so fun.
It was so
fun.
It was
fucking
so
fun.
clicky
It was like
too.
a frat. Oh, yeah. Totally clicky.
We would get blacked the fuck out.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so cool. That was like one of my favorite college memories was doing the newspaper.
So corny.
Yeah.
And you're like, I just think like Rebecca has been slacking.
Yeah.
Like her word count is low.
Yeah. Her formatting is off center. I don't know what she's doing. What does this lead?
I literally had to go into her InDesign and line up all her columns. I was like, okay,
Gross.
Queen, is this your first? Is your first
Queen.
season?
Oh shit!
So dumb.
That's hilarious.
So dumb. And literally, no one on campus reads the newspaper, but you act like you're the most integrity based.
Right.
So stupid.
It was fun. The first year I did it, I was just a reporter, and I was also doing the radio station too.
Oh yeah, the radio,
which was fun.
Yeah.
And I was just a reporter the first year, and then the second year, me and my buddy were co-editors in chief, so we were doing the layout every day.
Totally.
We got paid a stipend. I don't know if you guys did that.
We got a stipend, yeah. Ours was weekly paper though.
I think ours was daily.
Yeah, I went to a tiny school.
Wow.
So we had a weekly, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think ours was daily, or was it weekly? I'm pretty sure it was daily. Yeah, it was daily because we had this comic called Armchair Quarterback where we would make like a one-liner sports joke every week.
Yeah,
We'd
yeah.
have to rewrite that joke. And it was so fun. We used to just drink and have pizza and just get hammered. And, man, what a fun time. What was your paper called?
Ours is corny. So the school I went to is in upstate New York, and it used to be a normal school, and normal is what in like the 20s it would be a school for teachers.
Oh, okay.
Like women would go, I'm going to normal school. That was the school for teaching. And so the newspaper is the Lamron. It's normal backwards.
Fun.
It's like Erewhon, which is nowhere backwards. So fucking dumb.
Yep, that's very dumb.
Yeah.
But that's cool. That's
fun. And so I was like you. I was the editor of the features section, and then I was the editor-in-chief junior and senior year.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It gives you like an intense work ethic.
Yeah, it really did. Did you do any writing previously? What got you interested in that?
When I was in high school, I thought I wanted to be like a journalist. I thought and then in the high school newspaper, I would write like satire opinion columns.
Oh, cool.
I would like make fun of Ugg boots and like I made fun of like do's and don'ts of prom, and I said don't be the guy in the white tux, and the guy who wore the white tux got mad at me.
That's hilarious.
Drama.
That's so funny.
So I did that kind of stuff, and I wrote like a really corny like goodbye to Clarence High School letter that someone sent me recently. So dumb. And then when I got into college, I thought I was going to continue that, and they tore me to shreds when I tried to write like a takedown of Starbucks. Because when you're in college, people are writing like the Iran War and
right, yeah,
down with
the patriarchy,
down with the critique of Obama. I'm like, I like Obama.
Yeah.
So then I had to like shift, and I did features, and I put like a comedic kind of like poked fun at like frat life on campus and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
And then it turned into when I do stuff, I go like fucking hard. I can't casually do things. So once I started editing the features section, I was like, I'm going to be the editor-in-chief of this newspaper.
Cool.
And my interest in becoming a journalist went down every year, but I was like, I'm going to be the top of the Lamron.
Yeah.
So fucking
You were
dumb.
already on a trajectory.
Yeah.
You had the
Same
momentum.
with literally. Yeah. When I started stand-up, I was like, I'm going to go fucking hard.
Yeah, and now you hate it.
Yeah. Now I'm like, I have like a 3-year limit with things. Whiling out, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. And then I was like, we're doing this. We're doing it. So stupid.
Yeah.
Might be like my ADHD that just like kicks in heavily. But then, and then after, so when I moved to New York City, I had never done comedy before, but and I didn't know anything about it. I just knew like I was in New York, so let's try it. So I started with improv. For like 2 months.
And this is directly after college.
1 year after.
Okay, cool.
I lived in Rochester for a year working, and then I moved to New York, messed around for a bunch of months, and then I was like, I got the UCB notification on my Twitter, and I signed up for 101.
Cool.
And so I did the 101, and it was pretty fun. I was pretty good at it. But then I started stand-up, and I was like, we're done here. Yeah. Because...
So you didn't do improv at all after that?
I think I did 201, but after I started stand-up, my interest wasn't fully there. It became clear to me that I had to go full in on one or the other, and I was like missing classes for UCB because I was tired, and I was also working, and it was just pretty clear to me that to make the most of the money I was putting into improv and to like go full in, like try to get on a house team and stuff, I was gonna have to like do less stand-up. And I was like, let's just go a full stand-up. It wasn't a hard decision, but I was like, I see how this works.
Yeah, that's kind of the same out here, although a lot of people do crossover probably more than New York, because I think New York is much more stand-up folk. It's the mecca.
New York is like, you do improv too? That's interesting. How you take a night off of stand-up.
Yeah.
Like,
And LA is like, hey, you should take a improv class. It'll maybe, help you get on a sitcom.
Totally. And in my UCB class, there was actors, and I told them I did stand-up, and they were like, oh, that's great for your resume. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah.
But that is what people say out here about improv.
Yep.
They say you should do improv because it's great for your resume.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it doesn't.
It's not. It doesn't matter.
It's fun. It's fun to do.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, it was just hard because it's like a class that people pay for, and it was a very corporate setting. Yeah. And once you start doing stand-up in basements with like kind of more real people who smoke cigarettes and carry little notebooks around, you're like, I don't think I'm meant for this happy place where there's a wall covered in polka dots and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I started improv and then a month later started doing stand-up.
Yeah.
And I kept doing them both, like until I was done with both of the schools of improv. And so I would come into open mics where everybody was like that, smoking cigarettes and like with 2 cigarettes in each ear and, you know, a little notebook and just hating the world and walking up on stage and only laughing at their friends. Yeah. And that's a vibe in itself for sure. Yeah. Those people are probably still doing that at the Tribal Cafe in Echo Park, and it's all good.
Totally.
But I would come in, like I was like fresh faced and like happy and high energy and shit. And it did not help me make any friends. Yeah. I made like no friends. I made, I think, 1 friend total. And I wouldn't get laughs when I did stand up. And if I did get laughs, it was like they were laughing at me, not like at the jokes. Right. But I kind of like started to build up this like that shell. You know what I mean? That shell of like, I don't really give a fuck about you guys. I'm doing this for me, not for you. This is an open mic. Yeah. Because when I would go do a show, like even a little show at Flappers or something in front of a proper crowd, I would get laughs. Yeah. So I started to be like, okay, I'm not going to do this for the laughs at the open mics. I'm going to do the open mics so that I can work on the performance on my own and then bring that to a show where there's real people. Right. And now I'm getting laughs at a real show with a real audience. So fuck all these open mic people.
Yeah, fuck these open mic people. Yeah.
So it really made me choose my friends really carefully, and it turned me off of the whole hang aspect of it.
Yeah. I've never been a big hanger. There's always just better things you can be doing, and I have never seen a booker say, "Oh, you've been hanging here a lot. Can you show me what you do?" It's good to hang after.
Hey, I noticed you hanging last week.
I think once you get past at a club, it's good to say, "Hey, I'm here."
Right.
But just hanging without them ever seeing your stuff, it's not going to get you anywhere.
No. Yeah. No, it won't. Yeah. It won't. So I was never a big fan of that. And with improv, there is no hanging, really. You just kind of go. You're either in the class or you're in the show, but you're not really like hanging too much. But I did love doing improv while I was doing it. And it turned into sketch slowly at Groundlings. Yeah. And that's what I really loved the most was sketch. Yeah. Have you done any sketch or like live stage sketch or had any interest in that?
Barely. I only have written some stuff for there's like a few production companies of people our age in New York who like want to produce everything you write. So I've done stuff through them. I used to have a web series, and then I'll do any sort of sketch that people ask me to be in.
Cool.
Yeah, but I need to get into it more.
Yeah. When I come out to New York, I'm doing shows there in the fall, so we'll shoot some stuff.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah, I've been talking to Ryan Long about doing some things.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. I'll do anything people ask me to do, and that's the same thing with like the pandemic hitting. You realize like, oh, I might have been focusing too hard on stand-up, and when you audition for things, people... Like, if you audition for JFL or a showcase, they pick you out based on the current climate.
Right.
And so...
Right. I will not be getting chosen for very many things.
Yeah, and it's... or they say, oh, we get one... We've already had a... I've heard someone say, they told me I'm not getting JFL because they already have enough... Not me personally. Someone told me... My manager told me I'm not getting JFL because they already have enough women who talk about drinking. And it's like... It's totally
wild.
So you can't emotionally, I feel like it's not sustainable to emotionally say like, I'm going to get this, and this.
Yeah.
You have to kind of diversify.
Yeah.
Just for psychological reasons.
Yeah. To keep your own brain level headed.
Yeah. When you hear them say stuff like that, you're like, okay, I'm not going to give you my emotions.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I was at a comedy festival. It was actually at the West Side Theater in Santa Monica, maybe 2017-ish. And they had a panel of agents and managers, and they were taking questions about like the industry and what's changing. And it was right around the time the Me Too movement was like at its peak. And they were talking about like what the industry is like, quote, looking for now. Yeah. And one of the agents, who's like a big agent, he was like, hey, you know, I'm just going to let you guys know right now, like I've literally been told to not sign straight white guys. Wow. And if anybody here, and I say this not as a joke, but if anybody here is a gay or queer Muslim female, we want to talk to you. Wow. And I was like, holy shit. He just put that out there like with no, like so openly. Yeah. And I'm glad he did. It like kind of messed with my head for a minute. I was like, what the fuck? Wait, why isn't funny. Why can't we all just be funny and just whoever's funny should get an opportunity? Right. But then I was like, okay, no, I was still in that learning phase of like, okay, how do I pivot in this world? Yeah. And it was such a huge light that went off in my head. I was like, okay, well, the straight white guy, that's not necessarily what a lot of people are looking for. That's fine. Let's just focus on being funny. Yeah.
It's relatively freeing.
It is.
Because you're like, okay, I'm not going to chase something.
Yeah.
If you're just going to pull it up every time I try to grab it.
Right.
Like, thank you for telling me that.
Right.
Because then 10 years later, you're on your 10th audition for something and you feel like you're losing your mind. Yeah. And it frees up space for you to be like, okay, well, if you're not going to fuck with me, I'll fuck with me. Yeah. And then go from there. Yeah. And then they'll come chasing you at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You got to let the bag chase you.
You let the bag
Who said
chase
that?
you.
I think DC said that.
Yes.
Last week. That dude is the funniest person I've ever seen live. Holy shit.
He's so good. Yeah.
He is so funny.
The three of them are amazing. 85 South.
I had no idea Carlos was that nice in person too. I had no idea. Yeah. But DC, like we were talking about this too during the workshop thing or whatever. That guy deserves the world of comedy.
I know.
He should be hosting SNL.
Literally.
100%. If John Mulaney's hosting SNL, DC Young Fly should be hosting SNL.
He has more followers.
He has more followers. Yeah. He's more probably dynamic as a performer.
I know, it's insane.
Man, dude, I couldn't get over it when I was watching him do like making facial expressions or being awkwardly goofy with his body. Yeah. And he also changes his voice in like a crazy way. Yeah. He talks like super polite and very clear, and then he'll dip back into his super southern slang, and then he'll be like overly dramatic with stuff. It's like the range that guy has is awesome. Insane. Yeah. It's really cool.
They're crushing it though. They make so much money, and they have shows and podcasts, and it's the point where you're like, if SNL asked them to host, they would be like, I don't think I can do that Saturday. Yeah. Like, like they're booked for years probably.
Yeah, totally.
That's the goal of anyone.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. Is to say, hey, no. Yeah. Did the pandemic change your comedy at all going through that year? Did you start to shift in the way you like looked at things?
I think so. I think it like, you know what it did? Like pre-pandemic, I was holding on to a bunch of material because I was like, I was growing less because in New York, there's like comics in the back, or there's around the corner. There's always like, JFL season or Clusterfest season or like all of this stuff. And then pandemic, I was like, I just kind of want to keep growing and writing, and I'm done. Like Friday night, only tight material. Right. Like I'm done. We're trying new stuff. So I think it broadened my interest in doing new stuff and like not holding on. Like we all get this mentality of like, I have my tight stuff. Like until someone wants me to put this on TV, I have to hold on to it. Like, no. Yeah. And we don't trust that we will make even better stuff because we don't give ourselves the opportunity. Yeah. So I kind of loosened in that way.
Cool.
And I do think I have some new bits that are a little bit more creative and cleaner. I definitely leaned on some kind of like shock stuff before, and now I have way more stuff that's kind of just funny and clean, and that makes me excited to like go on the road more, because when you do longer sets and you have like sex joke after sex joke, by like minute 25 you're like, it's tiring. It's a little one note. Yeah. So I was able to expand into different material too. I did a lot of TikToking this past year.
What did you do on TikTok?
Just jokes and little
like stand-up type jokes?
Kind of like rants to the camera.
Oh, cool.
And like 10-second videos that are like, this is my impression of blah, blah, blah. Like little tiny jokes like that. And so I think that expanded my repertoire a little bit more too.
Did you grow on TikTok from doing all that?
Yeah, I think I have almost 100K.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. That's great.
It's a hard one though, because like again with like Wildin' Out, I didn't do anything at all. So gotta get back on there.
To grow on TikTok without having any credits to boost you or anything, that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. It's an interesting algorithm.
Yeah.
That allows for you to be seen by more people than if you're just tweeting or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did my comedy change? Yeah, I think I'm relaxed. I'm a lot more relaxed mentally.
I feel like a lot of people got that way. A lot of people, when they were forced to like not do comedy, became more relaxed about doing it.
Totally.
I wonder what that is, because like I'm way more relaxed now on stage.
I think it's the worst thing that we could have ever happened to us other than dying.
Yeah.
You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, fuck everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna do what I want to do tonight, and I'm gonna get rid of the meanness I have toward myself when I try to joke and it doesn't work and stuff like that.
Yeah. You're just like, fuck it.
Fuck it.
Moving on.
And like you all, like I'm not here for anyone else but me. So if I do a show and like I bring my notebook up or something, I'm like, listen, I don't care that this person's in the back of the room. I did a show and I did like all new stuff, and afterwards Emma Willman was there and she was like, that was amazing to watch. I was like, oh shit, she's here to work. And I'm like,
cool.
Everyone's here. No one is sitting in the back like,
No one's here to judge.
Yeah.
And if they are, you're not gonna grow.
Yeah.
You're gonna stay judging people forever.
Totally.
Yeah.
So you learn, like, you're also like get to a point where you're like, oh, I'm established. I don't need to do the old A hits just because she's here. She knows I'm good.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't, she will at some point. Like, yeah.
That's an interesting curve. That's a cool curve to go around. I feel like I'm hitting that like now.
Same with Wild 'N Out this season. I was like more relaxed because I was like, they know that I've crushed 2 seasons, so maybe stop freaking the fuck out over everything. Right. Yeah. My second season, I was like, all right, I got to do it again because I had a really good first season, and then this season I was more relaxed. And try to just have fun.
Super relaxed. You were a vet. I mean, you're a vet at this point, pretty much. This was your 3rd season? Yeah. How many seasons has Jacob been on the show?
I don't know.
A lot, right?
Like 8 plus, I think.
Yeah. He's a vet too.
Yeah.
And he's also fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he's great.
He's so funny. He's funny just in like conversation.
I know.
Were you around the fire pit that night when the sirens were going off?
I don't think so.
A fire truck pulled up.
The fire alarm.
Something went off. The fire alarm went off. And we were all looking over there, and there was a couple dudes like Tashawn and Tyler and a couple others, JJ. And the fire truck pulls up. We're all looking over there like, what's going on? And Jacob, so softly that only me and one other person heard it, he goes, I hope they don't find the dead bodies in my room.
Oh my God, he's so weird.
Dude, the way he said it was
weird.
So hysterically funny.
I love
we
it.
just died, and no one else. You can't repeat that to anybody.
No,
it was funny.
It
was really funny.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
And dumb.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That to have that confidence in yourself coming out of everything, and to be going up on stage, not for other people, but just for you anymore.
Yeah, you're like, I got an agenda here.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
I'm here to work.
They do.
You know, this isn't a showcase.
Yeah.
And also, even if it was, fuck you guys. You know what I mean? In a way, like, I had a manager for a year when I was first starting off. I was way too fresh and new to have management, but she told me one thing that's always stuck with me is you have to have a sense of like not giving a fuck.
Yeah.
And not in a bad way, not like you're throwing away a set or throwing away a performance, but just like it's like a confidence thing. Yeah. It's not a narcissistic thing.
No.
It's not a condescending thing to other people. It's just a sense of like knowing yourself and not giving a fuck about all the pressure that people create and put on themselves.
Totally. And it shows when you have that on you.
Yeah.
In a set, you're like, so I have a boyfriend.
Right. Hey, your voice is like that.
And it doesn't come out naturally.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate when you can feel it, especially in like an audition or a showcase. You're like, I'm fucked.
Yep. I felt that one time during the taping. I didn't feel it running out. I didn't feel it. The one time I felt it was in my very first joke. It was a baby mama joke. And I fumbled one of the words because I was just nervous. And as soon as I did it, I finished the joke and I walked back to the edge of the group and I was like, all right, got that out of the way.
Yeah, totally.
Done with that now.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the 2 weeks, I was like, I felt chill.
Yeah, totally.
Felt super chill.
Yeah, it's just the first one.
Yeah.
Same with stand-up. It's like that first line.
Yeah.
And then
that
you
first
start
line
cooking.
in a big set. Yeah.
If the first line doesn't do well, sometimes you can get in your head. But if you're far enough along, you're like, let's keep going.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it felt good. It was a really cool experience. And coming out of the pandemic, I got way more political with all my stuff.
Oh yeah.
Which was interesting.
Yeah.
So I hate politics.
Yeah, I'm not political at all.
Yeah, I like dove straight in to that shit.
What was your motive?
I was just frustrated at all the news type stuff. My first motive was that I hated the news and the way they just show you like things to make you mad and hate other people. And every channel does it. CNN, Fox, and then the crazies like OAN and I guess CNN is a crazy now too. But it started there, and then I got more into it with like COVID related news type stuff. I was like, why? We locked down for like a month and a half and nothing's really changing. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
And then I started questioning that.
Yeah.
And never really from like a conspiratorial point of view, although I do love a good conspiracy theory.
Yeah, totally.
But it was more just from like a logic and science point of view.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
You know, why are we being told to not go outside
Right.
and wear a mask when we're walking our dog alone? You know what I mean? It was stuff like that that really kind of triggered me. And so I started making more videos like that, and they started hitting, and it was the reaction to those videos mixed with my like true passion for making those videos. So I didn't make the videos just to get reactions and views. It was that mixed with, I love this.
Yeah.
I'm figuring out what I want to say and how I want to say it.
Yeah.
And I started trying to take aim at like anybody and anything.
Yeah.
Because in comedy, most people just take aim at like the right when it comes to political stuff.
Totally.
And I saw that, and I'll bash on Trump day and night,
Yeah.
right? And his son and McConnell's turtle ass. But there was this whole other side that was doing dumb stuff that was like left leaning, and no one was taking shots at them. And I was like, man, I just thought to myself, like, why is no one doing that? This is such a great opportunity. And so I started doing that a little bit with bagging on like Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, and other people on the left, mixed with people on the right. And as soon as I did that, I got branded by people as like a conservative comic.
By who?
By like people online.
Yeah.
And even friends from like high school. Like
Really?
this guy that I went to high school with who's a psycho in his own right. But he called me a conspiracy theorist in a Facebook comment.
Oh my gosh.
Which is funny. He's a little
Facebook.
weird. Yeah, like a public Facebook comment.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, call me. You have my number. We grew up together,
totally.
dude.
Yeah.
You have my phone number.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting to see because I started cultivating this audience that was such a weird mix. So every time I put out a video, bashing Biden, I'd get this influx of support, and then I would put out a video bashing, that Josh Hawley senator dude or Ted Cruz or whatever.
Yeah.
And then those people who had liked me previously would be like, yo, what are you doing, dude?
Totally.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do that.
So weird.
And I'm like, hey, I'm a clown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a clown, and I'm going to do it all.
And that's why some network shows have such a hard time, because they go hard on Trump, but then they know because of their numbers they're not allowed to go hard on others.
Which is so wild. It's so wild. And that's why people like Schultz have succeeded, because he doesn't have any agenda with his shit.
Totally. So do you have a hard time like coming up with ideas that won't be polarizing to either side?
Well, I've done so much that is polarizing. Like I've done so many videos that specifically bash on, Gavin Newsom and Cuomo. And I've done videos that specifically bash on Mike Pence and Ted Cruz. And then I've done a ton of stuff that's a mix. Yeah. So I feel pretty evenly balanced. But when it comes to certain topics, I definitely have beliefs that are probably polarizing. Like when it comes to like, COVID, I'm pretty like, let's just open up and stop fucking talking about this. It's over. It's done. Let's get back to life. Yeah. But then there's some social stuff where I'm like, this issue exists and we got to talk about it. Yeah. So at this point, I've gotten to a place where if I think it's funny, I'm just gonna do it, and I'm not gonna care who likes it and who doesn't, because I know who I am and I know what my beliefs are. So that's been an interesting place to come to after never doing political stuff. Yeah. Like never. Up until 2020, the only topical stuff I did were dumb impressions or like whatever's happening in hip hop culture or the NBA or some shit. Yeah. And now it's like, oh, okay, a new bill just passed
Yeah.
and I know
Yeah.
how the legislation works
Yeah,
now. Like
yeah,
I didn't ever
yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting to be coming out of Wild and Out because it was like 3 weeks of silly
Yeah.
and 3 weeks of just plain fun,
Yeah.
and I missed that so
Yeah.
much.
Totally.
I got like fatigued
Yeah.
from all the political stuff, like
Yes.
tired. It made my brain hurt.
Definitely. It's very silly, very playful.
Yeah.
Totally different environment than even just stand up. And for me, when I went to Wild and Out, I had the roast battle background, so I was way too fucking mean.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
That's
I want
funny.
to destroy him from his core.
Yeah.
And they were just like, yeah, your ass is flat. I'm like, yeah, but
Wait, so with roast battle jokes, how does that differ from like goddamn style jokes?
it's like roast battle is like white men calling you a slut in 20 different ways, and
Right,
they'll
right,
they'll get you at the core of your shit. Like there was a guy whose grandpa killed himself or something. They're making jokes about that. They make jokes about autism,
So they go
abortions,
deep and dark
deep.
with
Like
the
you
roast
send
battle.
each other material about
Fuck.
yourself, and it's like, you can talk about this, this, and this. Please don't talk about this. And who knows if they end up doing
Right,
it. Like,
right.
there's girls who have herpes. The main joke is their herpes. If you're overweight, you're fucked.
Yeah,
you
you're
know?
fucked, yeah.
The hardest people to roast are just like straight white men. You know, like I roasted Matthew Broussard, and that was very
Oh,
hard.
he's funny.
Yeah. But he like was pretty mean to me, and all I could do was like, oh, rapist, closeted.
Right.
Very hard.
Right.
So, but that's the roast battle vibes, is like they'll hit you in your core.
Yeah. Is the delivery or the structure different?
Yeah, goddamn's more like silly wins. You know,
Okay.
like I called Cortez the raisin in my potato salad.
Right.
I did not expect it to do that well. But in roast battle, it's like the smart jokes are like,
Yeah.
Maddie's dad was a dairy farmer. Guess he brought his work home with him.
Oh.
Like smart.
Okay. Like smart one-linery
Yeah.
type stuff. Whereas goddamn is like, you.
Yeah, if you don't get your toothpaste ass, which would bomb in roast battle. If someone tried to do that in roast battle,
Right.
they would play the cricket sound. Roast battle is
To the death.
thank you Kirsten cunts, you know,
Right.
the like just rude as fuck.
Yeah.
Maddie, there was one that I saw someone do about like Wendy's in SAG, not the union. That's just how they describe her tits.
Oh.
Shit like that.
God.
Like rude as hell.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's so mean.
Yeah, and I think you always have to think like what's best for TV,
Yeah.
because I've had stuff get cut that I'll tell you about after, because I don't think I'm allowed to say. But
I wonder, would you think I was allowed to say that, what I just said?
I think so. Yeah,
You think that was okay?
I think so.
I think so.
I actually have no idea.
16 people will watch this.
Mine
That's
is a celebrity guest related,
Oh,
so I don't want to
okay.
out her. But
Yeah.
so I think you're fine.
I think
But
mine's
yeah, I always try to think of like what, because you forget like a lot of young kids watch this.
Yeah.
So even when I'm doing jokes about like swallowing cum and blah blah blah, you're
Right,
like,
right.
this might be too much. For the producers might think like we're good on that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah. So it was interesting because I mean, I came in trying to write in a way that matched
Yeah.
all these dudes who just smoke people
Yeah.
on stage.
Yeah.
You know, Carlos in the goddamn is
Yeah.
so fast and hilarious and all the stereotype stuff. So I was like, did anybody get like mad about that? I thought I started getting scared.
Right.
And he was like, no.
Yeah.
We all thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But it probably won't make air.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
And it had me nervous for like an hour or two that people were walking around like, oh, there's racist Brent over there.
Don't be
down.
nervous. Yeah, you just have to. The main thing is just keep being yourself.
Yeah.
And the more you do it, the more you'll figure out how to be yourself while also making stuff worthy of the episodes.
Right.
That's pretty much it. They never want people to change because they like edgy.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're just like, yeah, we can't
Yeah.
play that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one game they ended up cutting that I was actually pretty excited for.
Which
The
one?
Karen game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was fun in the rehearsal.
Yeah, we
the
never
workshop.
played that.
The workshop was really fun.
Did we play that at all?
Nope.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
But maybe next season.
There was enough references to Karens.
Yeah, you had a whole song.
Yeah.
It was so good.
That you're just like,
yeah,
we don't need
more Karen.
And I also think people weren't picking up on the game either.
Yeah.
So I think they were like, there's too many new games.
Yeah.
There was a lot of new games, and I think people were already overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was fun. So what do you have coming up? What's next for you?
Well,
Are you on the road?
What am I doing? New York, all of July, pretty much. And then August, I'm going to film a little thing at Zany's in Nashville.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like a special type thing?
A little bit of a thing, selling some tracks to Sirius XM.
Hell yeah.
And then the fall, not lined up yet. This was the big thing. This was
cool.
Wild 'N Out was the big thing that I had to get through. And now I'm like, whatever, bring it on. Because I spent a whole year in the pandemic wondering if I was still funny.
Yeah.
And then once I got, and then you're like, the cancellation and then re-upping of the show. You're like, what's going on here? So I was really nervous that it was going to be a lot different, but it ended up not being. So now on the other side of this, I'm like, just kind of get back into stand-up. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool.
No big plans.
That leaves room for big plans.
Room for big plans.
You're holding space for big plans.
I'm submitting
as my spiritual
veils.
friends would say.
Exactly.
Yeah, you are holding space.
I'm holding space. The space has yet to be filled.
Good.
And I look
Keep
forward.
holding that space.
Yeah, and I have my own podcast, and that takes up a lot of time. And you forget that you're like, I don't have any bookings, and you're like, you forget you have all your own stuff going on. You're like, who cares?
Yeah, it's a different world these days with the biz.
It is.
Yeah, you fill up your own schedule.
Yeah, you fill it up. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. What about you?
Back on the road a little bit for the summer. And then I mean I want to do like a bigger tour, but I just don't have a booking agent or anything.
Yeah,
so it's tough to get in that mix.
Yeah.
I'm going to see what this show can be used to create other things.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah.
So we'll see. But cool. Where can people find you? Say that.
You guys can find me at Maddy Smith on all medias. Yeah. And my podcast, That Time of the Week.
That Time
with
of
Maddy
the Week.
Smith. I would have you on, but it's all women.
It's all white women.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not necessarily
not.
white. No, I just said that in front of Cortez to make fun of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all women. That's
all
fun.
Women, yeah.
That's cool.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, in a good way.
Yeah.
Cool. Keep holding that space, baby.
Thank you, baby.
All right. Love you. See you guys.
Thank you.
And that's it, baby. Maddy Smith, hilarious. Follow her. So Maddy Smith. I do follow her, but I forget what she just said in the episode. It is I think it's So Maddy Smith. It is So Maddy Smith. So Maddy Smith on Instagram, and her podcast is That Time of the Week at That Time of the Week Pod on Instagram. Check her out on Wild 'N Out. She has a ton of clips out right now already from the show on YouTube and on Instagram. If you just search Maddy Smith Wild 'N Out on YouTube, you'll find all her funny moments, and follow and support her. Support the sponsors, Buy Optimizers and Blue Blocks. Scrub back to the beginning of the episode and listen to those links and go to those links and buy the stuff so that they can give me money so I can keep making rent and creating fun stuff for you. Okay? Because that's the way the world works. Capitalism, baby. Have a good week, guys. See ya.